Was for Star Wars, Clone Wars, and George Lucas wants kind of a Russian or, European voice. Now, he and I are from the same era, and I know that I grew up on black and white movies like Dracula and Wolfman.
Flash Gordon. We'll see.
Flash Gordon, I was a little young, but yeah, a little younger than that. But watching with my sisters, we'd watch the old black and white horror movies, and there was an actress, a tiny little woman with gray hair named Maria Ospenskaya, and she would say, "Beware the wolfbane bites." And she would talk to the guy saying, "Don't go up there because there's wolves and they will bite you." And I always had a good ear, and I was always a mimic. It helped me get through a lot of stuff in my childhood to make people laugh. And so I brought that voice to Mother Townsend, and I have a feeling that George Lucas also watched those movies growing up, and he said, yeah, she's the one. So I'm very fortunate because she was another great acting, Granny Chio. Mother Townsend is another. She's a dark character, but she's, in her mind, she has a valid reason for being so evil in some ways. She's fighting more evil. So, and I won an award for that. I was very proud of that. Don't pop your piece. Behind the voice actors is a place on the internet. And I got Best Supporting Actress award for that from them. And I was up against, June Foray, who just passed away, who did Rocky, and I won, and it was like, and Kristen Wiig from Saturday Night Live. So it was a huge honor. And they were supposed to do a big backstory and keep it going, and then they sold it. And there she was gone. That's it. Hooray for a home! There we go. Yes, sir.
When you worked on Digimon, did you get to meet any of the people still do the cast, like Laura Jo Miller? I mean, she's a favorite actress I want to meet one day, but did you get to meet her? Laura Jo Miller did Kari.
I don't think I worked with her. Laura Miller?
Jill Miller? You know who I'm talking about?
Laura Jane Miller?
Laura Jill Miller.
Miller.
She did the voice of Kari from Digimon. She was the ties.
I probably do know her, but I can't remember meeting with her because we didn't, as I said, with these work jobs, we were in the booth by ourselves.
Okay.
So it was, maybe she'd come in after me, but no, I don't think I met her.
Okay.
Yes?
When, how Power Rangers, how did you feel when you found out that Sorcery was being played by Johnny?
What's the question? Austin St. John what?
When you played Lady Chio, how did you feel when you found out Sorcery was being played by Johnny?
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, I knew Johnny went into voiceover, that he decided to shift himself into that world because he's a singer, and a lot of singers go into voiceover. I used to do nightclubs, more comedy, character stuff, Betty Boop, and this character I did, Baby Rodriguez, and I do stand up and do these songs. And Johnny has a band, and he said, that's another way in. He's a daddy, and he wants to keep working. So I thought it was great because he really found a niche for himself. He's very, very talented. He knows how to do those action figure guys and do the on-camera stuff as well. He's an all-around actor, which is impressive. So I listened to that recently, and I thought, wow, that is a good scene between him and I. I really enjoyed it. I took myself out of the judgment level of acting and listening to yourself to listen to the combination of the grandson and the grandmother. I mean, how often does a grandmother and grandson go into a samurai fight? It's pretty interesting. So I was, impressed with that. And he's great. Yes. Next.
Oh, hi. I was just wondering, of all the characters that you have voiced and all the experiences you've had, which character would you say gave you a personal development?
Oh. Well, Rita gave me development in learning how to stand up for my rights with a company that didn't always, take the best care of their talent. They didn't, certain people respect talent more than others. And I cut my teeth on standing up for myself on certain things. So it gave me more, because you want to be humble and you want to be nice. And sometimes it doesn't behoove you to be too nice. So it taught me boundaries as a person, what my boundaries are and what I'm willing to, suck up and, bite, swallow and, or, say, no, this is not okay. And we, as a group, stood together on many things. I won't go into details, but as a group, we stood together, and it paid off for us to do that. Other jobs, like, well, I'd say that the whole acting career in general is like a Zen lesson, because you can't be attached to, you don't know when something's, you may work really hard at getting something, get 5 calls to try, callbacks that are called, and then get the job, and then you get it, like Fraggle Rock. I beat out 1,250 people, I was told, to do Red Fraggle. And I was so proud of that. Jim Henson said that she was one of my favorites. And it was canceled after a year. I had just gotten an audition for Ninja Turtles for April, and I didn't get it, and I thought, who cares? I got Fraggle Rock. So you learn how to be punched in the gut a lot, and then come, you're one of those dolls that come back up. I still am always looking for the next job, but it's not, it's how your attitude is about it. And it's made me stronger as a person, and I think being an actor can really, break you down and make you bitter a lot of the time. Or you can say, all right, there's a lesson in this for me, next, moving on, moving on, moving on. And like, who knew that this was going to happen, the Comic-Cons? I turned them down for the first, 10 years because I thought nobody's going to want to meet me. And now when I went to the first one, and I got all this acknowledgement, it was like, this is nice. I like this. So I hope I know I went off, but I hope that answered your question. Yes?
You work with great writers and great dialogue. Is there any dialogue that got you emotional? And is there any character that you up to, only at one time?
Well, I got cast in something that I didn't know what it was about. It was I had a young son, and it was offensive to me because it depicted women in a way that was not okay, and I didn't want to have my name on it. And I actually said, I didn't know that this was what the content was, and I can't do it. I'm sorry. And I never walked out on a project before. This is the one time. And I felt fine about it. But, when you're raising a son, you want to give him lessons about how to treat women, and this is a thing where it was horrendous. It was just so off base for me. So I wouldn't do that. But I didn't know ahead of time. It's best to know ahead of time. I will be able to help with writing a lot of the time, and if I say, can I say this another way? Can I rewrite this? Because this doesn't sound like speaking, like normal. It's not natural enough. I've gotten to the point where I'm old enough to say that, in the beginning I was like young, and you had to kind of say, is it okay if I, but now it's like, yeah, this is awful, I can't, let's fix this. And so I will, now. But sometimes there's nothing to fix because it's brilliantly written. And that's a thrill for me when it's written well. Usually a good writer will be open to improvements And, you know, if they say, well, do it two ways. They do that too. They say, well, let's do it as written, and let's do your version, and let them decide. And that happens a lot too. Yes?
So in other words, when you did Rita, you couldn't give any of your opinion when you were voicing Rita?
I could, because it was a friend that was recording me and directing me. But there were other projects where I didn't know the person, and I had to be a little careful to see what ego I was dealing with.
Are any of the lines that you said during Power Rangers like yours, or like you improved?
Well, Make My Monster Grow, and
You gave me a headache.
yeah, that came out of my friends who wrote it. And whether it came from, you know, knowing me or whatever, Make My Monster Grow, I think, came from the original, or something like it, because the thing was growing, you know. So I can't take credit for those. I can't take credit for the laugh and some of the grunts, but, you know. And I said I would do the voice for some people, so maybe I should do that now and get that out of the way so that I keep my word. I'll do some of the catchphrases and just get that out of the way, and I don't think I really need this, but... Make my monster grow! That's one. There's a couple, so you can hold your applause for the end. Okay, after 10,000 years I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth! I have such a headache! Get those Power Rangers! That's about it. She's still in there. Can't get rid of her. My son would say she screams at me like that, and it's not true. He's almost 30 now, so. He used to say, Mommy, why can't you be the Pink Ranger? Nobody's ever happy, right? Yes.
Doesn't it hurt your vocal cords?
Good question. No, actually, sometimes it gets a little scratchy when I forget to put air in there. It's a lot of air, and it's a lot of... Oh, where's my
Is
water?
there
Water.
raspy, so
And
like you will hurt or like? Get
well, I'll tell you, I would only do 2-hour sessions at a time, so I could handle it. I drank a lot of water. And it's like singers have diaphragmatic breathing, and I'm trained to just kind of breathe with holding a lot of air in my body. So even though it's there's air in there. I don't know, it's a technique thing, but it doesn't hurt. So there you go. So there.
When you brought up the new Power Ranger movie, did you get to watch it, and what did you think of them changing Rita over for? What was your personal opinion of them changing it over? And because Rita, it was kind of like indifferent because she was evil, but she was still kind of brand new. So, what was your opinion of the Rita?
I love Elizabeth Banks. I think she's a fabulous actress. I knew she had to do something completely unique and not, you know, copy. I knew as an actress she would want to bring her own take to it. I thought it was fascinating that she did this neck thing, you know. She was kind of robotic in a way. I loved her performance. I thought it was interesting that she ate the gold. I didn't love Goldar. I thought that was a little melty. You know, and where's his voice? You know, I missed that. And the only criticism for Elizabeth Banks is she threw away Make My Monster Grow. It's like she didn't want to say it. And I mean, I was tuning in as that, having this belief that, do I have to say that damn line? It's, you know,
Every day.
it's from the past. I don't want to do it. But she did it, and she did it with anger, but she didn't do it with ferocity. But that's it. I love the fact that they gave time to the movie to develop the kids. They gave they gave it some story. They cared enough to give them some character. And it didn't do as well as they wanted, but I think we'll come up with a second one.
Yeah.
They're working on
'Cause
it.
I
We'll
think
see.
I thought near the end, I thought they had the Green Ranger.
Yes,
Oh,
they alluded to Tommy coming back.
Oh, okay, not the actor, Jason David Frank, but the character or?
The character, well, it won't be Jason David. Well, he was in the movie as the cameo that they gave them. They had another cameo that was way better, where they were sitting in the restaurant, and the girls were doing that fork thing, and he and Amy were like watching them, like what's going on, and that was, I don't know why they didn't keep that in the movie, instead of them going, ooh. That was not a cameo, that was extra work, basically, but just saying. More, give me more. Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know if they asked it already. I was wondering, what would be your dream series to be able to be cast on for a long time?
Ooh. Well, I would love to do on camera, because I do on camera. I just did a movie called, it's a short, I don't know where it's going to be, but it's an independent film called Rose is a Rose is a Rose, about a man who's lost his wife, and his friends keep telling him to start dating again, and he still talks to his wife. And I played the neighbor, Mrs. Kroshenko, and I got the Russian nasty neighbor, and I'm wearing a babushka on my head and saying, "Stop taking my roses." So I love doing stuff like that, and it would be great to be the next Betty White. I would love to. I wear my gray wig a lot.